right now what I'm doing is I check my weight and now I just write it down. I always just record everything that I do. So then I can always look back and see how I'm feeling according to my last weight cut. Or let's say if I have like a really difficult time cutting the weight, I can look back and see, okay, these are the possibilities why this might be happening. But right now the weight is good. For this fight, I wasn't disciplined enough. Usually I'm only cutting 3 kilograms. This fight I ended up cutting 5 because the week before I ended up eating things that I shouldn't have ate, and now it's costing me. But either way, I'll be good to go.
What was the culprit of this?
It was cold cut meat filled with sodium, lots of sodium. So now what I'm gonna do is oil myself up with Thai oil, so in that way it my body begins to sweat quicker, and it's just gonna help with the sweating process. In Thailand, what we do is 3-day wake up, so 2 to 3 days. So I started yesterday in the morning and the evening, and then today in the morning and the evening. And then tomorrow morning we weigh in, and then the fight is tomorrow in the evening. So in Thailand we do a day of weigh-ins. It's against a guy named Nong Deer. He's a technical fighter. This is Palang Mai, the new power group. So underneath here I have 2 layers. I got a long sleeve thick shirt on, and then I have this what's this called? Hoodie on. And then I'm gonna put on the plastic jacket as well. In America I used to do, because we fought, we would cut, the weight a day before. I was cutting weight much differently in America. Up until I started coming to Thailand. So we would just cut everything, all the weight that needs to be cut the day before the fight, and then we weigh in, and then the next day we end up fighting. No, I prefer the 3-day method. It's not as difficult on your body. And I think what happens is every day that you end up cutting the weight, it's as if your body gets adjusted to that. So then the next day in the morning, you wake up feeling fresh, even though you're obviously well below your natural weight. So your body, everybody already knows how incredible our bodies are, and I think this is just another way of showing that how incredible our bodies are and how well they're able to get adjusted to negative aspects and what we do to our bodies. So yeah, I think the gradual way is much better. Now, is that better for us in the long run? Who knows? Nobody knows. There's no test done for this. Obviously, you want to keep your body in this position the least amount of possible. So the 24-hour weight cut, when you do everything in one day, I think that's going to be better for the long run. It's not going to be as bad for your body, but I'm keeping my body in a worse position for 3 days. So this is my computer desk and my workstation. So today I'll be going through what I do on my job.
Okay.
Another thing I think that helps, instead of just going to the sauna or the jacuzzi to cut the weight, is I think it does help when you're actually working, running. And the whole objective of this is not to get into any type of cardiovascular shape. That's long gone. That should have been done weeks before. Now it's just about getting that sweating and cutting that weight off. But what I think it also helps is running at this lower pace gets the blood flowing through your body, and it gets rid of all that lactic acid, and it just keeps your body from seizing up for these last 3 days that you're not training. So I think this helps as well. And I have heard fighters also do a workout not for day of weigh-in, but let's say a day before weigh-in, the next day when they're recuperated, they do a hard workout in the morning, and then in the evening they fight. And they say that it helps them get the jitters out, and helps keep them relaxed, and then they fight really hard. And I've never done that, but I'm sure it does help for some people. What I also like to do is I put on fights to watch some of my favorite fighters. Right now, what I've been watching is Kensak. He's one of my favorite fighters. He was a technician, and he also lives maybe like 10 minutes away from where I live in New Jersey. So maybe I'm biased because of that as well, but I like to watch him. Karahat, Boonlai, a lot of those old 90s fighters. I just had 6 straight losses in a row. I've never had that. You can say it's age, I'm 37. You can say, I don't know what it is, but I'm in this situation where I've had 6 losses. If I lose this fight, this is going to be my 7th loss. So I'm in that position now, but I just know, and I just believe in myself and my ability, that I am better than a lot of these guys that I am fighting. And a lot of the times it's not technical issues, it's, sometimes you just make a small mistake in the ring. And like I've been saying a lot publicly, if you make a mistake in Thailand when there's gambling involved, that's it. That can be your whole fight. 1 or 2 mistakes, small things. And that can be your whole fight. So I'm feeling really good for this fight, mentally and physically. So I'm going to go out there and do my best, which is what I always do. I have absolutely zero regrets. Zero regrets. Even with all these 6 losses, I have no regrets with what I've done. Yeah, of course, I could have changed some things during the fight or in the fight, but it's what it made me be. What it made me become as well. So I don't really have too many regrets, if any regrets. The last fight I should have won, 100%. I mean, everybody was saying it. The Pies were saying it. A couple of other fights were very close where I should have won. But again, it was the gambling. 1 or 2 mistakes and the fight goes in the opposite direction. So it's a big challenge that you have to cross over. This part is absolutely the most difficult part of fight training. I don't think anybody wishes to be in this position. And these are the moments that make me appreciate life a lot more. The small things. At this point, all you give a shit about is food and water. That's it. Health. At these points is when I realize how important health is to us. I don't give a shit about women. At this point, I don't give a shit about cash. You can throw millions of dollars at me. I don't take it. If you put $1 million in front of me right there and a bottle of water behind it, I'd be like this. Give me that bottle of water. I don't give a shit about anything. And I feel besides the health. And I feel like I don't want people to do this, but if they did do something like this, they would appreciate the finer things in life a lot more. Finer things, I mean, not fine desserts or fine dining. I'm talking about the finer things of life is our health. That's the finest. It doesn't get any better than that. You have your health, you have everything. On the last day of cutting weight, usually I don't begin to sweat until maybe like the 20th minute of running, because you're all just dry at this point. So you have nothing in your body left. So right now, it's 12 minutes in, I still haven't began sweating. After I cut the weight, I try to put on whatever I lost, and then plus the amount that I usually take in when I'm going to train. So like, let's say if I cut 3 kilograms, I'll get the 3 kilograms back, and then I'll drink an extra
1.5 to 2 liters of liquid, because that's usually what I do before I train in the afternoon. My opponent is just a technical fighter, so he pretty much does everything. He knows how to clinch, he knows how to fight from the outside. So I'll just have to go in there and see and feel it out from that first round how he is. I'll attack him with some feints just to see how he reacts in the beginning, and then we'll go from there. We'll build on the story. To me, a fight is like a story. It's like a question and an answer that you're having with your opponent. You ask a question, that question could be jab, straight, right. Let me see how he answers back with that question. Does he answer back with a block, or does he answer back with a teep? And then you build on from there. You begin to record all that information. I want to work more on my feinting for this fight. Pretty much go back to my old style, the way I used to fight. And that's one of the reasons why I began losing a lot of these fights, is because sometimes when you come somewhere, they end up changing your style. And that could be for either good or bad. For me, it didn't really work out well, so I just want to go back to how I fought when I was winning fights, when I knew and had confidence in what I was doing. So that's what I'm trying to go back to, and I've been succeeding in that for the past 3 fights. Even though I've been losing, I still notice a big change. As long as there's change, I don't care if I win or lose. There has to be a change. The only really depressing losses that I've had is when I came back and I said to myself, man, you look like complete shit. There was absolutely nothing you did that you trained to do. There was absolutely nothing you did to improve from the last fight. So those are things that hold meaning for me. I was just a very technical fighter before. And of course, yeah, I would be aggressive at times. But then what happened here is they wanted me to just be more aggressive and just use more punches, but that's not my style. You're trying to erase 17 years worth of knowledge and learning that you gave to yourself and to other people, and you solidified the style, and now you have to change it after 17 years. It's very difficult to, and it's not something that you feel good doing. So yeah, I am aggressive, and I want to keep that aggression that I have built, but I still want to go back to being more of a technical fighter. It just came up to 8 minutes 45 seconds, and I just began to sweat now, so that's a good thing. A lot of people say that when you love something, there is no sacrifice. I think that's bullshit. There's always sacrifice, no matter what you do. Sacrifice is all depending on your inner self and your personal experience. So, for example, if you have a child, and your child's been acting up for, a week, you don't just throw the child away or give him away to somebody. What you do is you sacrifice, and you wait, and you talk to that kid, and you're sacrificing your nerves and your time for having that child, and then things could be better, and then you go on with life. Same thing with this. I love the sport, I love fighting, but I don't love everything about it. I fucking hate this thing. I hate running, and I hate cutting weight. And I just don't see anything worse than this for the sport. But it's a sacrifice, because I'm looking at the greater picture. It's for the greater good for myself, which is fighting, and then fighting well, and then obviously getting the title shot as well. What I get out of this is a lot better than what I would be getting out of, let's say, doing at a 9-to-5 job, working for somebody else. Even though, yes, the money is much, much less, this just, nothing compares to me with what I do. Doing something that I love. So sacrifice has to be welcome. Just as much as you're welcoming the hard work that you do. for the fight and not being happy with everything that you're doing. You know, I hate training too. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. There's certain parts about training that I like. I like to spar, but you know, when you're putting yourself, look at this kid kicking. Tell me who in their right mind wants to subject their body to that type of work on a day-to-day basis, 6 days a week, or multiple times a week, for 15 minutes worth of your time, you know, for the fight. I don't want to do that, but I have to. Why? Because I'm making a sacrifice for the greater picture, which is the fight, and what I ultimately love. You know, when I started the sport, I didn't say, man, I love training so much, I can't wait to go train. No, it was, man, I want to fight. I want to aspire to fight so bad. That's the end goal, to fight, not to train. Training is just what must be done. It's that sacrifice.